Good evening, good
You,
night, wherever you are. This is THFC Till I Die, the home of Tottenham past, present, and God knows what sort of a future. Joining me today on this Monday afternoon, or Monday, whatever time it is, Newsbeat, is the Queen Ellie Hoiberg. How are you, Ellie, today?
yeah, I'm really well. I'm looking forward to that today's shows, Philip, The Godfather. Let's go for it.
Yeah. And do you know what we're going to try and do today? Now, I know it's hard with all this managerial stuff, but I know it's going to crop up in the chat about the managerial, but we'll try and
Yeah,
keep it a managerial free zone. There's enough other things to be talking
yeah,
about. So, you know,
true,
there's,
Philip.
there are so many rumors and counter rumors going around. I'm getting confused now at this stage.
I
But
know.
anyway, let's have a quick look and
Yeah,
see who's in the chat this morning. And we have Wayne Bonner. How you, Wayne?
Wayne. All
Whoops.
right, Wayne.
Wayne is saying, afternoon all. Hope you're all well and good. I'm looking forward to another quiet week at Spurs. Is there
Never a
such a
dull
thing?
moment.
Is there such a thing? Terry Wright saying, big up, everybody. Hiya, Terry. How are you?
Nice
And
one, Terry.
Mia, Spurs Between the Lines, is saying,
Way.
hello, everybody. Hiya, Mia. How are you? And Ryan Beziek is saying, hi, everyone. How are you, Ryan? And at John, I can never pronounce that, Wembley 1. Afternoon, everybody. Who's ready to be up bright and early on Saturday morning to get to the ground for the protest? Purple and gold until we are sold. Yeah, there is a protest planned for next Saturday, apparently. And apparently there's also another, I think it's changed for Tottenham, are saying that don't buy anything in the shops, don't drink in the bars, don't eat in the club restaurants, just buy everything outside the ground before you go in, and that might be noticed. So I'm sure some people will listen to it, but I think the majority probably won't, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know, it's based on the crowds we've seen in the bars at the matches so far. But anyway, we shall see. And Joseph Monaghan is saying, come on, you Spurs. Yeah, that's difficult, but come on, you Spurs. And Ollie Soderlund is a new member yesterday. Hiya, Ollie. Is saying, what a mess. I'm taking us, what a mess. Yeah, it is. It is.
Yes.
I mean, our European hopes are hanging by a thread now.
Yeah.
No, yesterday was probably the first time in my life I ever wanted Arsenal to win a match. After City winning, it didn't really matter, and then they couldn't even
I
do
was
that.
in two minds, Philip.
Yeah?
I was in
Oh, yeah.
two minds.
Yeah. I just wondered if
because
Brighton kept at arm's length.
Brighton had so many games in hand. Even if they lose, they could still overtake us, and then Arsenal would be closer to winning the league.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
Well, in a way, I was glad to see Arsenal humiliated yesterday because it really put them to bed. You know,
they're really shamed.
And that's one of the topics we'll have near the end of the show. Actually, is about Arsenal and what it means to Spurs fans, them bottling it. So, but we're going to have a little. Ellie's going to go through a little event that took place yesterday now, and it was a charity match organised by one of the Spurs kit man, as far as I know, to raise money for charity, and it was a fantastic success. And Ellie's going to talk us through it.
Yeah, it's a guy called Steve Jukes, who was our kit man, and he was very well loved by everybody at the club. And you've got the likes of Wilson Palacios flying all the way from Miami. You've got Sandro and all the usual suspects like Robbie Keane, Jermaine Defoe. And, you know, it was a fantastic event because it was to raise money for the air ambulance. His father died in a cycle accident. And they were raising money for that and also for himself, you know, because kitmen didn't get paid a lot back in the day. And even now, they wouldn't get a massive, massive salary. So it was nice to help out. And all those players turned out. And Robbie Keane, the Irish boy, he turned up as well. And I believe Jermaine Defoe scored a hat-trick, which is not unusual. Yeah. And it was a really good match. We won 7-1. And the other team was led by Yaya Toure, who's leading our academy. So it was an exciting match. I didn't see it myself, but I saw a little bit of highlights. I wish I could have gone to the game, but you know, I missed out. But the main thing is that it was done for charity. Yeah, and it was a brilliant cause.
I think it actually ended up 13-aside at one stage. I don't think they weren't too fussy about the substitutions, you know.
Yeah, and I read that Wilson Palacios came on 2 minutes, he got injury. Stretchered off, poor thing.
Robbie Keane's young son came along and scored as well.
He had a bad time of it.
Yeah. Oh well, it's great
Yeah,
that it's a bit
it's
like a bit of
fantastic.
light-hearted relief after what's been going on with the main team. I did see a post on Twitter
Yeah,
last night was asking the guys that played that match, can they come back next Saturday and play against Brentford? You know?
yeah. I'm going to that match,
Oh
but I'll
yeah.
be joining the protest as well beforehand, early. And I hope that Change for Tottenham join us, because they haven't joined us yet.
Okay.
Not many members anyway. So I hope they do join us,
Well,
and it'll
certainly
be a
wouldn't
force.
a concerted, united protest be far better than fragmented ones?
Yes, like, because it will show a unity amongst the fan base,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and we can gel together. Yeah, I agree
yeah.
with you there, Philip.
Yes. And
Yeah.
one other thing that's cropped up, it's not on the agenda for today, but we'll just talk about it slightly, is the situation in Manchester United and how it may affect any future dealings for
Mm,
Tottenham. Like there's a rumor going around, I don't know how true it is, that Jim Ratcliffe's bid is the preferred bid from the Glaziers because they
yeah.
retain a 20% interest in the club, right? And what this
Yeah.
might mean, again, I'm not saying it will, is that the Qatari people that want to buy Manchester United may move on to Tottenham.
Yeah.
And
Well, we can
while
only hope. The thing is, as long, everybody's putting this political card up, but every country's done bad things, Philip.
yeah.
Every country. Nobody can hold their hands up and say they've had a clean bill,
Oh, that's true.
So
That's true. Yeah.
as long as they come in, whoever buys us, as long as they come in with the determination to, in our football side of things, I'll be happy with that, and really invest, not just half-heartedly like we've been done past.
Yeah, well, I think the thing to say about that was I know none of us were happy with the Saudi Arabian takeover of Newcastle, and we'd be hypocritical to say that Qataris are anyway less culpable for human rights abuses than the Saudis. But I will say, the only thing I will say is that when they buy an English club, they're going to be bound by English law, and they'll have to behave themselves. And
Yeah,
so from that point of view, I'd
yeah,
be less it'd be less objectionable than the Saudi thing. But who knows? We'll see what happens. But I think we're
yeah,
all of the mind that we do need change, and it'd be a complete reset at Tottenham with new owners, and not an owner that gives Daniel Levy a 20% stake or whatever. We need a clean sweep.
no,
Whatever's there at the moment has to go, and I think that's pretty
yeah,
much
I
you know.
agree.
And actually, I just want to bring Dermot on there for a minute. Dermot is in the background working today. He just wants to come on to make a quick point. So Dermot, do you want to join us? You're muted.
You're on mute, Dermot.
I'm so unprofessional. I am so unprofessional. Now, firstly, I'm taking a few days away as I'm working in the background due to mental health issues and just needed a break. So I'm leaving that. I'm leaving the channel in the hands of Philip and Holly, a bit like a this morning. I don't know who wants to be Philip, who wants to be Holly. I leave it up to them two to discuss between themselves.
They're not getting on. They're fighting with each other. We don't want to be fighting.
No.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Look. I said it on Saturday. I think we need a united front on this. There's no point having change for Tottenham or Levy out. We're all fighting against each other. Now, I've always tried to be one way or the other. I've always tried to be in the middle, and I'm staying in the middle. I'm not going to go there and go like I'm going to the protests because I can't get there. But I'll do my bit on the channel here. Everyone's got to do their bit, but everyone's got to be respectful to one another. It doesn't matter if I have a different opinion to Ellie or a different opinion to Philip or a different opinion to people in the chat. We've all got to respect one another. We've all got to respect people's opinions. And that's all I ask for. So we shift side defense on if you come into the chat. If Philip says one thing or Ellie says another, please respect the people and their opinions. That's what it all is. We all want the best for Tottenham Hotspur at the end of the day. That's all what we want. I am taking a few days away, and I'll leave you in the hands of Phil and Holly up the top, as I'm going to call them now.
I don't mind. I've had
As
so
long as
many names on my YouTube career.
Yeah,
As long
well,
as she's not
As long
answering
as they
Dex
don't call
anyway.
me the B word, I'm okay.
and even Abraham's Philip, one of them's asking, I think Jim's asking how to get a membership on his iPad. So if you can explain that to him, let me know when you want the game up, and I'll bring the game up for you later. But
The iPad, no, I'm not that technical on these sort of things. Go into the community center section, isn't that right?
Well, you hit the link on the YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, hit the link. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
But maybe Carl or Wayne, who are channel mods, could help Jim out as well. But yeah, leaving the hands of Phil and Holly up here. Well, Phil doesn't have to change his name; he's grand. It's poor Ellie's going to be called Holly.
Ellie only has to change 3 letters on her name because Holly, she got the last 2, and she's got the LY, so you know
Exactly.
she's nearly there. She's nearly
Philip's the godfather with a capital T.
I'm going to bugger off now. Right, leave you two. Bye bye.
Right, Dermot. And listen, can we just say, like, we're big up to Dermot there for coming on and saying that. It's not easy to come on and say that you have issues like that. And he's always very much up front with them. So give him your support and your love in the chat there because he deserves it. Now, where were we? Hello, Dermot, in the background. Can you run a few more of the comments?
Thanks, Dermot.
Wayne Bonner. I'm as technically savvy as a caveman. All right, Wayne. That's all right. Peter M is saying we should be united.
Right
let's not be, let's not be like the Arsenal fans who walked out before the end of yesterday's match because they weren't going to win the title. Plastic. Yeah, we're going to come to that near the end of the show, Peter. I have a little comment in about what Arsenal bottling things means to Spurs, you know. And Mia saying, I've explained. There you go. Thanks, Mia. She's done that for him. And right, I think we're just going to move on to the first of the comments, which is about, Ben's in the house. How are you, Ben? Afternoon, everyone. Ben. Purple and gold until Tottenham are sold.
Yes.
Yeah. And just very quickly, thank you, Ben, for supporting the Wexford Tourism Board. We do appreciate the support. And
Wexford.
I look forward to meeting you at the next annual meeting at the Wexford Tourism Company. So thank you.
The AGM.
I think you'll get Ben doing the meetings.
Yeah, honest to God. Anyway, the first of the comments we're going to work on today is Hugo Lloris to leave in the summer. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this is whoops. Wayne Bonner, damn me, I forgot you saw my face. Touche, Maria, touche. Right. Now, here we go. Now, Hugo Lloris, as you know, has got 1 year left on his contract, but it would appear that it looks like the Newcastle debacle would be his last appearance in a Tottenham shirt. Now, it's been widely reported, and probably true, that the club are allowing him to leave a year early. And there's talk of him going to Saudi Arabia on some ridiculous 300 grand a week or something, you know. So, like, I know Hugo has got his critics and over the last season or so, but I would also say for the 9 or 10 years that he's been at the club, he's been an absolutely immense servant to the club. I think he should leave with our best wishes. And like he's been a great keeper for us. Everything comes to an end. You can't be good all your career. You're bound to have dips. He's had these dips, and I wish him well. And Ellie, what do you think? What would you say to Hugo as he leaves Tottenham?
Yeah, there's two sides of the fence, isn't there? There's the Hugo Lloris we knew when we went on that Champions League run and a little bit after. And then there was a Hugo Lloris this season. But I'm with you on that one, Philip. He's given us great service. He's been a fantastic shop stopper throughout his career, apart from this year where he's tailed off. But he deserves the break, and he deserves everything that comes to him, because at the end of the day, he's been loyal, you know, and you don't get a lot of that in football today. Yeah,
that's true. That's true. He's been very. I mean, he probably could have moved on a few times during his career when he was at the peak, and he didn't, you know. And I suppose the next question we're going to have to ask is, who are we going to get in to replace him?
Now, go on.
No, you've after you, really.
No, I was just going to say, I saw on the Spurs site that there's a strong allegiance with Basunu, and he's an Irish lad, so all the Irish contingent in the chat will be happy with that as well. And he's a very good keeper. He's young and up and coming, and he can start his Spurs career with a fresh slate because they've just got relegated from his team Southampton, so he's going to come into a team that's in a similar ilk in a way. Although we didn't get relegated, it's like we've been on a downer, and he can come in with a fresh.
Whoops, frozen. Ellie's frozen, I think. You there, Ellie?
Slate.
Stamp
his grand and make that, because he'll watch and he'll develop at Spurs as well, because we've got very good coaches.
Yeah, I think a typical, I don't know what outlet it was this morning, but it had the Premiership's worst goalkeeper linked with Spurs, right?
Yeah.
And what they've done is they looked at the statistics, and statistically, he is the worst goalkeeper in the Premiership this season. But he's playing behind a Southampton defence with more holes in it than a Swiss cheese. I've seen him play for Ireland. I saw him play against France. His distribution is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
He can use his feet, which is something Hugo could never really do. I mean, how many times were we putting our hands in our front of our faces when Hugo had the ball at his feet? Bazunu knows how to distribute the ball. Oh, there's a cat coming in on the
yeah, that's my cat
coming in on the thing. So, like I see Carl Simpson, they say he doesn't want Bazunu, he wants Raya or Henderson. Raya is going to cost 40 million. Henderson's probably going to cost something similar. And those guys, I don't know what age they are, but Bazunu's only 22 or 23. And I'll not be shaken in my desire that Bazunu is one for Tottenham. With a decent goalkeeping coach, he will really be a good keeper for us. And Peter M, I think, has summed Hugo's situation up completely there by saying he thinks Hugo's failure to win the World Cup for a second time in a row destroyed him. He came back from the World Cup a haunted man. I think that's quite true, actually. I think that's quite true. It looks like the vote is in for Raya against Bazuma here. Both Kate and Ben are coming up with the. Hang on now. Oops, so if they're losing me comments there, sorry. There we are. This is a comment from FSTN. Colin, how are you doing? It's a shame that Hugo has gone out on the season he had. He was a great keeper. Unfortunately, he couldn't catch a cold this season. That's true. Seeing rumours that Raya and Henderson could be looked at. Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. And Raya, Kate Boxall's going for Raya as well. Dermot, I think we're going to be outnumbered here. And Ben Kaufman is saying Raya is a better keeper.
Do you know who else I like, Philip? Just to add to that, I like Jose Sarr at Wolves.
Yeah,
he's 30. Yeah. He's so experienced, and he's been playing in a struggling Wolves side. And this season they've perked up a little bit, but they still like mid-table. But he's always had good stats, so he's one that we can look at as well, And he's got the experience as well.
Yeah. See, Peter, I'm saying if Everton go down, what about everyone think we're getting Jordan Pickford? Did you see what Roy Keane said about him?
Chat, they're not really keen on him.
Did you see what Roy Keane said about him? Roy Keane absolutely destroyed him as a keeper yesterday. Called him an absolute clown. So I think Pickford could be very divisive. I think if he came, I put it like this. Okay, I like Zuma, but if Raya or Henderson came, I would not say no. Even Sarr. And who knows, we might end up getting some keepers on the continent as well, Ben is saying Bazunu has excellent distribution, but is keeping these massive improvements. Again, he's got to have a good defence in front of him, which coming to Tottenham, he might not have either. So we'll have to, it might be out of the frying pan into the fire for him,
Yeah.
So, anyway, we'll carry on with the comments here. Dara Cloak is saying, hi, Dara. THFC till I die. You said earlier you were always in the middle, but a few days ago you had purple and gold, and I can't remember, but one YouTuber saying you said Levy out too. No, I think what he meant to say was we're in the middle as regard. We'll allow all comments coming on here. I think we're all pretty much in the camp. We need change at Tottenham, that we do want Levy to go, but we obviously want to keep it respectful. And that's what he was meaning by that,
Yeah.
So, and Kate Boxall is coming up with. Pickford is a clown, but we're a circus, so he could be a perfect fit. Well, that's the thing. Yeah. At the moment, we are a bit of a Monty Python job. And Carl Simpson, I think Bazuma would benefit by staying in Southampton. It won't affect his international career and getting vital experience. It could easily help in the future. Yeah, maybe. But then again, the Championship is a baptism of a very, very hard place to be a goalkeeper in. You know, you've so many matches, one after the 46 matches in a season. It's a lot of games. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. The fact that he's only at Southampton for a year, you may well be right. He may well still on there, but we'll see. Peter M is actually coming up with the guy that I would actually like to see is Bono from Seville. I think he's Croatian. He had a great World Cup. He would be a guy. He would be one that I would like to see. You know?
He's very tall as well.
Yeah,
commanding.
But anyway, we'll move on to the second topic on the program, which is Longley. Apparently, wants to know who the new boss is before committing to Tottenham. Before we sign him permanently from Barcelona. Now, Ellie, the first question I'll ask you, should we sign him permanently?
I'm in two minds, you know, because I've seen him play really good, but I've seen him play really, really bad as well. And I don't know, he's only been here 5 minutes and he's already commenting on who our new boss is going to be. You know, you don't have the right to say that, man. Just get on with your job. And he didn't really perform against Villa. He was atrocious. I don't think he lacks pace. That's what I'm worried about. He's got all the passing skills. He's very good at his distribution. Not all the time, because against Villa he was very poor. But when he's good, he's good. He was good against Palace. Rubbish against Villa. You don't know what you're going to get with him. I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket with him. I think as a squad player, I think he'll be all right. You know, he's decent. Yeah.
I think a lot depends on who we actually get in to play in the middle, to play between himself and Christian Romero. We need better. Sure. I mean, with a very good commanding centre half in between him and Romero, I think he could be a good player. Yeah. So I think we should keep him. I don't know where he got this thing. Well, why am I questioning who's going to be the new boss? It's probably something he said that's been, taken up by the press. The usual sort of stuff. So, but I would keep him. But I don't think
I agree. As a squad player, he's all right.
Don't we all, Longley? Don't we all? Okay, and actually, I'm being corrected there on Bono. Bono was actually the Moroccan keeper. Sorry, I mixed him up with another guy who plays for Croatia. So, yeah, Bono, Peter M. Thanks for that. But he's a good keeper, And I wonder if there's any relations with our Bono over here. The U2 guy. And
you're so funny, Philip.
But Bono, well, I'm not a U2 fan, so maybe that'll be taken up wrong. But anyway, Peter M saying the Croatian number one is Livakovic, and he had a good World Cup. Might be open to offer some Spurs. Currently at Dynamo Zagreb. Yeah, there you are. Maybe.
Yeah, the last player we got from Dynamo Zagreb. Look how that worked out.
He wasn't bad, was he? Yeah.
He was.
And still going strong at 37.
Yeah, at 37.
The great Luka Modric.
Brilliant.
Terry writes in Longley's bang average, so let's get him signed up. I think that's the way Spurs. There's a kind of a doomsday mentality about Spurs fans in a minute. Everything is just doomsday scenario. Oh dear. No, well, let's see. Yeah, Stuart 727 saying Bono was Irish. He's the lead singer of U2. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So I think the jury's probably out on Longley. He probably will stay, I would imagine. I think he's only costing 12 million, isn't he? 12 million, I think. Yeah, isn't too bad. Yeah. And the problem is we won't get any of the manager. Yeah, we're trying to keep off that subject today, just give us a manager-free day. But you're probably right. And Jim Boxell is saying, Mia, it's my mission now to join. Yeah, it's a little conversation between
must be Mia to join her channel. Must be.
Yeah, be a channel. Yeah.
Spurs between the lines. Come on.
Yeah, and the FTSN column probably sums it up there about Longley, where he's saying that he's a mediocre player. Let's see, put that one up there.
Mediocre, average, about the same, isn't he?
Yeah, but that's what our back four has been all season, really, to be honest with you. You think about it, mediocre, average, poor, you could actually say, And Joseph is having a comment about what is going on at our club. And where he's saying,
very quickly, that's the link to join the channel if anyone wants to join. I just put the
Okay.
link in the chat and I will pin it to the top. Sorry.
Thank you, Dermot.
No. That's that comment on Joseph. Bono is short for it. Oh yeah, people. What is going on at our club? Only had so many bad decisions. We can make before paying a big price. Relegation. No. I'm not going to go there. We are not ever going to be in a relegation battle. That is no. That's for other teams. That's not for us. Although Everton wouldn't have said the same thing. They only escaped last season on the last day of the season. So, but no, Tottenham. We've been in the top division since 1978. And we ain't going anywhere. So, hopefully, he said, hopefully. Dermot, we come the next. We'll leave Longley alone now for a while, and let's go on to the next topic, which is, I suppose we're not going to be too surprised over this. Levy is supposed to be haggling with Juventus over the fee to be paid for Kulusevski.
Yeah.
That his form hasn't been great this season. Now, I don't know how Juventus are going to deal with that. What do you reckon, Ellie? Well, is this another example of cheapskate mentality by Levy, or should we just pay the money?
I think we should just pay the money because he's worth it, right? Okay, he's dropped off this season, but he's had an injury, so it takes time to get back into that mould that he was hitting. But he came on against Villa and he did make a difference. He came on against Man United. He made a big difference. So even though Levy is notorious for doing this, I think just pay the money, Levy. Yeah. Just pay it for God's sake.
Well, what makes me laugh about this is, right, Juventus, but there's a fee agreed, at the end of the loan period of 32.5 million or whatever, right? And now Levy is haggling over that, right? And he's also fighting, I think, with Napoli over Ndombele. He's trying to enforce their loan agreement that if they win the league, they'll buy him. Or get to the Champions League, buy him, or something like that. So you can't have it both ways, Daniel. You have to, if you're going to treat some other team with disrespect by haggling over a fee, you've got to stand over an agreement you agreed to a year ago with Napoli. So, it's as Carl Simpson said, it's a Levy special, 10 million, 2 boxes of crisps, and Paratici, little corrupt black book.
And also, I think, if I'm right, we're still paying some of Ndombele's wages.
I'm sure we are, yeah.
So that will be coming off the tab as well, won't it? So
yeah,
it's good. It's good. Yeah, you can't have it both ways, Levy. Just do the businessman.
Yeah. I think that's what has him such a bad reputation with other clubs. That's why other clubs don't like dealing with Tottenham. It's because they know what they're going to get, And
this is kind of they run.
Yeah, exactly. And this is going back to the relegation thing.
Let's do a runner.
No. Peter Wren was saying, Philip, I kind of agree, but when you think how Leeds went down in the early 2000s and how Leicester and Everton are doing right now, nothing is impossible. But we should always achieve 40 plus points. Yeah, I mean, to me, seeing Tottenham below 10th in the Premiership would be an absolute disaster, because we haven't been there for a number of years. Like, I remember the 90s when we did struggle against relegation, and I don't want to go back there again. No way. Leicester and Everton, I think, could be down to mismanagement and spending unwisely. And for all his faults, Daniel Levy we're never going to get caught out financial irregularities for all that he's done wrong. So, and I think Leicester will be the team. I think they won the league 7 years ago. Would it be an awful tragedy for them if they go down? Because if they go down, I can see them struggling to get back up. As for Everton, well, I like Everton as a team. I think they've been living in the shadow of Liverpool for so long, and it'd be a disaster for them if they went down. It really would.
Yeah, look at Chelsea's story as well, Philip, right? They didn't get those 2 wins against Bournemouth. I can't remember who else they beat, but they didn't get those 2. They'll be down there.
Yeah, I know.
They won't be free of it. So, it can happen to any team, but I think we're all right. I think we're okay.
I think we're okay.
We do have enough players.
We do.
That are good enough.
We score enough goals, And I'm going to make an interesting comparison at the end of the program from the league table in 1963 compared to the league table now, and it's quite interesting reading. Anyway, FDSN is saying apparently Kim Jim May has agreed to join Manchester United. Harry Maguire for sale now, I reckon. I won't be surprised if Levy goes in for him. I actually am probably one of the few players on earth that think, or people on earth that think Harry Maguire might do a good job at Tottenham. I just feel he had a bad run at United, but look at his England performances. He's been very, very good. I hope we don't go for him, but I wouldn't be surprised, Colin, if you're right that we do, you know. So anyway, let's see what else we've got. Kulu for 35 million is a steal. He's only 22 and he's only going to get better. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Everybody can have a dip in form. I mean, remember this time last year, he was an absolute sensation. He was brilliant.
Yeah.
And himself and Bentancur were two of the main reasons we got Champions League, you know. So we have to stick with him, I think. Kate Boxwell is saying, if we didn't have Harry Kane, we'd be in the bottom half of the table. Yeah, possibly, but you don't know who would be there instead of him, you know. Well, they'd never probably score the amount of goals Harry scores. They'd probably chip in with maybe 10 or 15, which should be enough to keep us. That being said, I've also seen Richarlison has been voted the flop of the season as regards transfers. And it's hard to disagree with it, really, when you consider he's only scored 1 goal in the Premiership and 2 goals in the Champions League for a player that cost 60 million. So it's a big decision you made there in the summer. If an offer came in from just Spurs accept it.
If we had another 15 goals, 15, 20 goals to our total this year, we would have been challenging. We would have, because we would have won a lot more games, because I think we lost 13 games all season.
Yeah.
We've got 2 more to lose.
We can't, well, put it like this, we cannot lose. The next 2 games are vital. If we don't match what Villa do, we're out of Europe next season. That's as simple as that.
They're playing Man City, I believe, aren't they?
Are they? I don't know who their games are against.
I think they are.
Right. Our game against Leeds on the last day of the season could be an absolute mind bender.
That's going to be like a pressure
cooker. They might
cooker.
need points and we might need points, you know. And the Leeds crowd, it would be enough to intimidate anybody. They really are noisy and loud, you know. So, anyway, there's a lot of comments coming in here.
I hope they're safe by then.
Well, but I don't think they will be.
I don't think they will be, though.
No, I don't think they will be.
They won't be, because it will go on the last game of the season.
It could go down to goal difference, you know, and it's shocking, really, to think they could go to there. Like I have a couple of friends, Leeds fans now, and they're really worried. They are really worried about going back down again, you know. And let's see now. Peter M saying last time we were in the bottom half was at 14th in 2004. I mean that is what 19 years ago.
Yeah. So
it's a long time to be in the top half of the table. 2003 we finished 14th. Yeah. That was under was that under Glenn Hoddle? I think Glenn Hoddle the boss there. I think he was 2003. We've been through that many managers. I can't even remember who was in charge of what year, you know. THFC, Dermot reckons Everton will go down. Quite possible. And if Everton go down, there was talk they might not have enough money to finish the stadium. I think they said pretty much that they will not, because the championship money, okay, they'll get the parachute money that'll keep them going for a year or two, but I don't think they will have. If they do, though, they'll have the best stadium in the championship, you know.
They'll have to get a loan from Liverpool, won't they? Do you imagine Liverpool giving them a loan? They'll say, do one.
The Liverpool fans will be lapping this up. They really will if Everton go down, you know. It really will be. And Peter M saying again, perhaps we should have a poll asking, would Maguire be better than Dyer, or would they both be playing alongside each other? No, I think Maguire is better than Dyer. No matter how bad he is, he's better than Dyer. But I think a Maguire-Dyer central partnership would probably send most Spurs fans into, I don't know what.
They're going to hiding.
Going to hiding, yeah. That would be it, you know.
Yeah, they'll leave the country.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, dear. And 40 million for Reyes, says Colin, who told Brentford he's leaving at the end of the summer. That's a bargain. Yeah, I mean, Reyes is a good goalkeeper. He really is. You know, we'll just see how good he does against the Sun. He could be auditioning for a job now on Saturday. So in a way, I hope he fails it and lets in about 6 goals, but he probably won't. He probably play the game of his life, you know, as things can happen. And Kate Boxall thinks our fan base are deluded that we're miles off the top sides. Well, we're still in the top 6, so we're not miles off the top sides. You know, with the first season that we haven't really been dominant in getting a European place for a long, long time. So, you know, it's been a very difficult season, and one I don't want to go through again. Really, I don't think anybody does. But I don't think we're miles off. We're not miles off. We're 2 or 3 players off being a really, really good team.
We need
but it
more
depends.
goal scorers, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Don't
yeah.
we, Philip? We need more goal scorers. We
We
can't
do,
just
we do.
rely on Son and Kane. And Son's dropped
True.
off this season, even.
Yeah.
I think he
Yeah.
scored 11, but still, that's still way below what he usually does.
I mean, I think Harry Kane would walk the centre. Would walk the. Harry Kane would walk the golden boot this season, only for that freak up at Manchester City. Freak show, you know, that Haaland is really. I mean, 27 goals. It's 4 more than Son got last season. Son and Salah. You know.
Do you know what? I might be controversial here, but I think Harry Kane probably would have scored more than Haaland if he was at City, because the amount of chances he's missed, Harry Kane would have those away easily.
That's true, actually. Yes, you're actually true on that. Yeah, you know, but
I
suppose the fact that
Philip,
Haaland signed for City, if Haaland hadn't signed for City, you can be sure Harry would be linked with him this season. But there's no way Harry's going to City now, not with Haaland.
100%.
Yeah. Anyway, Dermot, we'll move on to the next topic.
Yeah.
This is just a quick one on this. Apparently, Unai Emery, or Dracula as I know him as, has worked with Lo Celso a couple of clubs before, and he wants maybe to take him to Villa next season. Now, I'm going to be controversial here, and I think Lo Celso should come back and play for Spurs. I think he's still got a future. He didn't get on with Conte. That's no reason to say he won't get on with the next manager. So I would take a punt on him and I would keep him. What do you reckon, Ellie?
I like him. He's a very technical player. Whether he has what's the word? He didn't really commit when he was playing for Spurs, and I didn't like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he wasn't fully into it. You know, you could tell by his body language and the way he played for us. He wasn't really committed. But if he does come back under a new manager, if we're going to keep him, I want to see 100% commitment from the boy, because he's got skills. That's one thing for sure. He's a very technical, skillful player, and he can. Well, he can't score a lot of goals, but he can make goals. So he'll be a good addition. Just put it that way. As long as he's committed, Philip.
Yeah. The only thing that gives me a little bit of concern is I did hear that he was a bit of a divisive figure in the dressing room. That he possibly, mightn't be a team player. That he might cause a bit of aggravation. When he's not in the team, he should have mouthing off about it. So I don't know. But certainly, you don't become an Argentinian international who only missed the World Cup by injury. He would have a World Cup winners medal.
Injuries as well.
Yeah, and plus he is injury prone. All right, but we'll see what happens there. I don't want him, if he goes, let him go back to Spain. I don't want him going to Villa and being successful at Villa and to our detriment. So I think we'll have to wait and see what happens on that one. But Unai Emery certainly fancies him.
Yeah.
So on, Dermot. And there's a poll in the chat. Do we want Harry Maguire? So now this is interesting. This is today, 60 years ago today, on the 15th of May, 1963, Tottenham Hotspur became the first British team to win a European trophy when we won the old European Cup Winners' Cup in the final against Atletico Madrid in the Feyenoord Stadium in Rotterdam. And we won it 5-1. Quite an amazing night, and Spurs fans were out in Holland in the thousands. And bear in mind, this was the time when air travel wasn't as frequent. It was far more expensive than it is now. So the ferries were in use to get them out. But this game strikes me for one thing. This is known as Danny Blanchflower's final. Now, just to give anyone, this is a bit of a history lesson now for anyone that might know this. Danny Blanchflower was 37 at this stage, coming to the end of his career, and was actually not 100% fit. But he played in the game because Dave Mackay, our other rock in the midfield, was out injured. And before the game, Bill Nicholson gave a team talk. Now, during this team talk, he built up Atletico Madrid to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. This goalkeeper was better than our goalkeeper. The centre back was 9 foot tall, and we're never going to get by him. And in the middle of the team, Danny Blanchflower says, "Hold on a minute, boss. Hold on a minute. And he went on to give the most inspiring team talk ever. Bill Nicholson sat back and let him at it. He gave the most inspiring team talk ever. It's still talked about in circles that it was like a Churchill. It was like a Churchill thing, never in the field of human conflict speech. It was along those lines. Spurs went out of that dressing room thinking, we're going to beat this lot, and hammered them 5-1.
Yeah.
Now, if you listen to Bill Nick, that might have been a totally different thing. But in that season, which I think Danny Blanchflower was a legend at Tottenham. He really was, and should have been the manager after Bill Nicholson. We all know the story there. Bill Nicholson wanted Blanchflower and Johnny Giles as the two team to take over from him. But the board got thick that he approached Blanchflower without telling them and more or less sacked him, which is an absolute disgrace. And what they do, bring in Terry Neal. Enough said. But interestingly enough, on this particular season, 62-63, Tottenham finished second to Everton and scored 111 goals. But we let in 62. Where does that remind you of? It's nearly the same numbers we let in this season. But interestingly enough, looking at the league table that particular season, do you know who got relegated? And you would never even dream about this happening today. Manchester City were relegated. Look what I did. Of course, there was no.
I was only 6 months old. So my dad was probably whispering in my ear anyway about Spurs.
I barely remember it, but it was a great performance. And I think, Dermot, what we're going to do to run down the show at the end there, we're going to put a short highlights of the game on here in the background, because that was some day in the history of Tottenham Hotspur. And then just while this game is running, I think it's about 15 minutes long, we're just going to talk about the last topic on the agenda today is this. It's a sad sort of affairs at Tottenham when all we have to smile about is Arsenal's bottle job. So, Ellie, what do you reckon? Are you what's your feeling seeing Arsenal, as we predicted they would, bottling the league and bottling it for the second season running? Like they bottled the Champions League last year, now they bottled the big stage this year in the league. What's your feelings on Arsenal? And have you anything to say to Arsenal fans? Whoops, I think Ellie's frozen, are you?
I have something to say to Arsenal fans.
Any opportunity, I don't care how bad we are, how good we are, any opportunity to dig at Arsenal. I've been posting all day yesterday, memes, everything to take the mickey out of them, phoning Arsenal. You got to do it. We're a Spurs.
I'm sorry, I've got to join you for this match while Ellie's having
come on, Ellie's having a few technical problems there.
Yeah.
I mean, this was...
look, that's the BBC.
Look at the way the team's written out in handwriting. Oh, brilliant.
I just had to join you for this. Sorry, Ellie.
It's all right. I wanted to say something really poignant about Danny Blanchflower, because I was watching a documentary and he was talking about the rich men of football not having a clue. And he was considered quite a troublemaker at the club early doors. Yeah. And he was talking about Sidney Wow, and he was talking about the club in general, that he had a meeting with Sidney Wow and he was voicing his opinion about the way the club should go. And what didn't go down well, just put it that way, because he was a very strong-minded Irishman who spoke his mind.
Yeah.
It got him into a lot of trouble, but he didn't care.
Can I just say, Ellie, we just seen Philip trying to invade the pitch there a few minutes ago.
Here now, come on, don't be cheeky, don't be cheeky.
We just saw him trying to jump over the fence and try to invade the pitch. That's what you were trying to do.
Yeah. Do you know, just thinking about Danny Blanchflower, do you know that his brother, I forget, his brother was a Manchester United reserve. His brother actually survived the Munich air crash.
Did he really?
Yeah. I forget his name now, but he was Danny Blanchflower's brother.
That's an interesting fact.
I was just thinking, was Daniel Levy's great-great-grandfather in charge of Tottenham when they appointed Terry Neal as manager, by any chance?
I don't know. I mean, it was just that it'd be like
Go on,
it'd be like Rangers appointing an ex-manager of Celtic. You know, it's just
Well,
it should never happen.
Here's a question for you. What was Graham Souness the first manager to do at Rangers?
The
What
what?
was
The
Graham Souness?
What was Graham Souness the what was Graham Souness when he was manager at Rangers?
Oh yeah, he signed the
What
Catholic.
was he? Yeah,
Signed the
he was the
Catholic,
first to sign the Catholic at Rangers.
And Rangers up to that had never. Oh, good save, Bill Brown. Had never said that they had an apartheid policy with regard to religion, which is it's like saying there was no such thing as apartheid in South Africa. No, it was a joke, and it's still pretty bad up there. It's still pretty bad up there. If you watch the game on Sunday, it's absolutely tribal when those two teams come together.
Yeah.
Here comes Jimmy. Yes, back on the net.
Jimmy.
Oh, what a player! What a player!
What a player!
The way he ghosted in there behind the rest of them, brilliant.
Brilliant.
I swear to God, half that stadium was full of Spurs fans, you know.
Well, I was just saying that, Dermot. They got over
They
there.
weren't briefed about Jimmy Greaves, it looks like.
No, that's true. That's true.
I've frozen. My screen's frozen. Is it still going?
No, it's frozen as well.
Right. Okay.
Have we been copyrighted?
No, we haven't. No, it's just my screen's froze completely.
I suppose we're having an extended celebration in the middle of the pitch here.
Yeah.
But, you know, just talk about the fans getting over to Rotterdam for that game. No, Rotterdam's not too far. I mean, I think I probably told the story before about Celtic when they got to the European Cup final in '67 in Lisbon. And of course, when they won it, they went absolutely blotto for about 2 or 3 days. And those boys, they were pushing them onto boats and planes just to get them out of Lisbon to get them home. And a few boys landed home in Glasgow after the game. A fellow went into the house, and the wife says, "Well, how'd you get back? Where's the car? What car? The car was still back in Lisbon." You know.
Oh, no.
Hang on. Here we go. There we go. I'm bringing it back.
Going back.
There we go.
That's it. So anyway, we're back on. So yeah, I mean, football fans in those days, it wasn't so easy to travel as it is now, you know.
No.
We're Barbara Cullum's time machine.
Oh, unlucky.
And Peter Rem saying it's the kind of play that made me idolise Greaves and become a Spurs fan.
Yeah. Brilliant. You know, absolutely brilliant.
Look at that. That was a brilliant dummy. That was.
I remember Celtic winning the European Cup in '67. I watched it on television with my dad.
Well, that was a great day. I mean, they were losing as well. They were 1-0 down, playing against Milan. And Milan were ultra defensive at that stage. You know, they had 9 men behind the ball at all times.
Yeah.
And Celtic broke them down. Steve Chalmers got the winner.
Yeah. Afternoon, or what game was that, Dermot? I'll let you explain it, Ellie. Go on.
Yeah, it's the 1963 UEFA Cup Winners' Cup final against Atletico Madrid.
60 years ago today.
Yeah, 60 years. That's exactly my age.
Very good, Elliot. Oh, that's good effort there.
I wasn't even a twinkle in my dad's eye.
Look at that. You see, it's all on the front foot, isn't it? All on the front foot. Yeah. Attack.
I said, look at the space they got as well. You know, I mean, there was no closing down or no shutting things down in those days.
I just want to ask you a question, Philip. Did this team play with a bit of the push and run side of the 50s, do you think?
This was actually great save. This was actually the last roundup of the double winning team, really.
Yeah, but
they push and run. Yeah, they played a bit like they did, a little bit. Not. It was an adaptation of the push and run style.
Yeah.
Whoa, another one.
Terry Dyson.
What a great goal.
Best game Terry Dyson ever played in that game, I think.
Yeah, it actually become known as the Dyson final.
Yeah.
This is what it was known as.
He absolutely crucified the fullback. Yeah.
There is.
Goal.
There we go. Forward.
There's Ellie.
I was 6 months old. I probably would have run on the pitch if I was old enough.
You were the mascot. Yeah.
I would love to know who did the commentary for this game.
It was Kenneth Wolstenholme on the BBC, I think. He was very.
Is it Bill Brown in goal?
Yeah. Kenneth Wolstenholme was the boy that made the classic, never to be forgotten, in the World Cup final in '66. They think it's all over. It is now. There's one of those comments, you know. There's half time.
News, isn't it? Da-da-da.
No, me either, Kate. My parents hadn't even met then. She says I was minus 15 years. I was minus probably another
Yeah.
a long one. I mean, the year I was born with.
Cafe News, if I remember. Go on, Dermot. Sorry.
Colin says I remember this game very well, being born in 1901 myself.
Oh, right.
I
The
was
what do you call
going to
it?
say, you know, Cafe News, it was their emblem a cockerel or
Yeah,
some
it
sort.
was. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
It was,
Actually,
wasn't it?
I subscribe to Pathé News on their website, and there's some fantastic old videos. Not
Yeah.
only soccer
same
ones, but
here.
everything back about 100 years. It's really, really interesting. You know, for history. I'm a history nut, so I love that sort of stuff. Oh, and it's a good save, Bill Brown. Brilliant save. Bill Brown was a very underrated goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Scots lad. He moved to
Really
Canada.
good.
He only died there a few years ago. But there are so few of that that team left alive now. It's really sad.
Yeah, it
Really
is.
sad.
Alan Mallory, he was a team, was he?
No, Ballymollory
came
came
late.
in. He actually came in the following year. He came in '64. So he actually replaced Danny Blanchflower, really.
And
you know, in the
here's
team.
a penalty
Oh,
from
it's a penalty.
from
I'm sorry, it was
Madrid
a good
now.
save by the Spurs fullback, which would got a red card today, but wasn't even booked in those days.
Yeah.
The referee is seeing how much bribe he's getting. He's telling him to move the ball. If you don't move it 2 inches, you get another $5.
I'll fine you 2 weeks' wages, which is 2p.
There's the referee.
It's 30 quid in those days, you know.
There's Bill Brown on
Yeah.
the line. Left, go left, go left. Oh, he went.
No, he tipped it over him. Yeah.
Dear.
And that's 2. When I made the game, but the Spurs
their
weren't too
only
long coming back.
I saw a video yesterday, Philip, of people back in Connemara back in the 70s.
Okay.
Right? We are going to show it, and we're going to do what we did St. Patrick's night. We're going to do our own sort of Tottenham commentary over it. But I saw this fella on the back of a donkey, right, with 2 for the turf, right, in the bags, right. And I think I said to you yesterday, I said, reminded me of Daniel Levy coming back with a little bit of cash from John Lewis when he's donkey walking across the beach.
The poor donkey. Oh, jeez, that was close. Oh,
Had
my
a few
God. That could have been 2 each.
chances.
We
They
went
did.
to
It's until we got the 3rd goal, it was anybody's game. This, you know? Oh, yeah.
The pitch is
The place was
dreadful,
nice.
isn't it?
Oh, it's shocking. I mean, that was pitches in those days anyway. Did say Bill
Yeah.
Brown kicked it away. Spurs were hanging on a bit.
Yeah. Dave Mackay to Dyson.
Yeah,
look at that run by
Dyson. Look at
Dyson.
that.
Look at that.
There's
Brilliant.
Jimmy coming in the end. Oh,
Oh,
no.
he's got it.
What a good mistake by the goalkeeper. Oh, my God. He done
Was
a
that
Hugo
Greaves
Lloris.
or Dyson?
That was Dyson.
Yeah.
I think it was Dyson, yeah. Yeah, I think it was Dyson. Jeez, you'd hate to be the goalkeeper letting in that, wouldn't you?
Ah, you
Because
would.
they had no action replays on TV in these days.
No.
Back in the day, there was no action replays like they have now.
No.
Yeah, you just saw it once and that was it. And there's a Levy across and Bill Brown tips it over for a corner. Strange looking goalposts, aren't they? The shape of them. They're
Yeah.
really odd looking.
They're more clinical, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably made of a different material as well.
No, the big long free kick up the middle there. Flicked
There we
on,
go.
and here goes.
Look at that. Brilliant.
There's Jimmy.
Here's Jimmy.
Go on, Jimmy.
Right, here's a question for you guys.
Unlucky.
Right, here's a question for you guys. Right, what
Yeah.
number was Jimmy Greaves wearing when he left Spurs?
There's Jimmy again. For
Number
the second.
8.
Yeah, number 8, I think.
then.
8 or 10. That's all he ever
8.
wore.
Yeah. I remember because my dad used to be.
They're getting
There's
the
that
trophy
lovely
ready
trophy.
now.
Yeah.
The engraver's getting ready to put the name
Not
on it.
talking about him, which is understandable when you think about it.
They look like a prime Real Madrid, don't they?
No, here's. Oh,
Did we sell Jimmy Greaves to West Ham? Didn't we?
Part
yeah,
exchange.
he came as a part of the deal with Martin Peters to Tottenham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bill Nick rang him
What a
at
great
home.
player.
Told him at home he was going to West Ham. Could you go over to West Ham, please? I got Martin Peters in my office.
Oh, no,
I was old enough to watch Martin Chivers.
Oh,
I
great
really
goal.
loved him.
What a
My
goal,
dad
guys.
used to go, Chivers, Chivers, Chivers.
What a goal
Oh,
by
yeah.
Shivers. By Dyson there.
Yeah, I know that was that John
He's
Watson?
still alive, isn't he, little Dyson?
He is. Terry Dyson
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
He
And
is.
Cliff Jones.
Cliff White.
Cliff Jones can play
Cliff
for the team
Jones,
at the minute.
sorry.
Cliff Jones is
Cliff
unbelievably fit.
Jones. Yeah,
You know,
he's like well into his 80s, isn't he? I think.
No,
and
90s.
his nephew, his grandson,
Or he's
is one of
80.
the
I think
backroom
he's
staff at
80
the moment.
actually.
Yeah, no, he's more. He's 80 something.
Yeah.
That's it. Game over. Tottenham
Look
won.
at that.
That was it. But it's nice though. It's not. It's the fact that this is the actual day actually happened. You know, would it be nice if
Yeah.
today that we actually appointed somebody, but that never happened.
80 years.
Yeah.
88.
Yeah, he
wow.
would have. Yeah, because he would have been 27, 28 when this game was played. Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, folks, I think that's about it now. To finish on a high, Tottenham actually winning a trophy.
Come
And
on. Let's win some more.
but Arsenal, I feel sorry for Arsenal fans in a way. No, not really. No, don't.
No.
Because you think about it, back in 2016, right? They accused us of bottling the league the season against Leicester. We were never top of the league. That's league. We were never top of the league one day in that season, right? Arsenal have been top of the league for 93% of this season.
93%.
And they still couldn't do it. So all I can say is,
Couldn't get it
Arsenal,
over
keep
the
your
line.
mouth shut about bottling. You are the ultimate bottlers. You invented the name. And you never, ever associate that name with Tottenham anymore because you are the bottlers.
You know what we've got to do, though?
What's that?
Back in 1 minute.
Yeah, we're going to finish it off now. Wendy, what were you saying that we have to do?
They're still young and raw, some of them. So we have to make sure that we strengthen our side as well and get in the right manager to take us forward.
Absolutely. Yeah. You're so right at that. You really are. So, yeah, we need to match them next season because we finish ahead of them for that 6th season. We'll give them next season, but next season normal service has to be resumed.
Yeah. Can I introduce you to the new Arsenal manager, Mr. Bottler? So thank you very much.
Anyway, listen, I think at that we're going to finish it out. We're back tomorrow, hopefully with a bit more news.
Mm-hmm.
And we've another podcast coming later on in the week. And then we've got the preview show on Friday for the Brentford match and the watch along on Saturday with the Brentford.
Yeah,
so.
And I have more FIFA stuff coming up as well this week, so look out for that as well.
Very good.
And
Very
good. I won't be on tomorrow, I promise. I can't keep away.
No. So, Ellie, thanks a million for coming on today. It's a pleasure having you.
No worries.
Enjoyed it.
Pleasure.
And thanks everyone in the chat with a great number of people watching today. And thanks for all the comments.
The poll.
Yes, the poll.
Yeah.
Carl says, Dermot, that wasn't as clean as when you beamed in. Yeah, I know. I have to talk with the fella on the starship.
His TARDIS is rusty. It needs polishing.
And Colin said, no, you picked the Doncaster Rovers in your last FIFA game. Yeah, we're just beat them. Right. Okay, let me end this poll. It's very one-sided, this poll. Do you want Maguire at Spurs? 91% say no. 8% say yes. Can I just ask, what's the 8% thinking? Did they just press it just for the laugh?
And where's the 1% gone? That's what I want to know. Anyway.
Philip, you and your 1%. We're going to have another show about you and your 1%.
Yes. Carl Simpson says, I voted yes, so screw you all. Right. And on that note,
He's part of the 8%.
Oh, God. Right.
Hello.
Okay, lads.
Makuva says, my timing's bad again. Just enough time to type out hashtag Coover in, Levy out, big up Dermot, Philip and Mummy.
Yeah. He's my adopted son.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow you will get Philip and Holly back on the channel again. They know they have made up and they're not going to fall out.
I'll have to dye my hair blonde.
You're going to have to.
I'm okay.
Some crack if you actually did dye your hair blonde and came on with blonde hair.
I wore a blonde wig one time. I quickly took it off. It didn't suit me.
Didn't
I
suit you.
dare you to wear it tomorrow to come up. I
But they
dare you
say
to wear it.
blondes have more fun, so I might do it.
Well, there you go.
That's for yeah. Okay, I think
That's
we'll
for
end the show
another
now.
show.
I think we'll end it on that low note. We'll end the show, right?
Yeah. Good night.
Yeah.
Come on, you.
Come on, you Spurs.